So it seems like I'm collecting the Hobby Japan brand of vehicles now, because I seem to be getting more of these things. Today we're going to look at the GR Supra. Let's see, does this box say? Here we go. This is the A90 platform, and I guess the RZ is a trim level. Probably the highest trim level, but I don't know for sure. All I know through my research is this is built on a BMW platform. It's shared with the G29 Z4, and it's made by Magna Steyr in Austria. So this is not made in Japan. I would have, historically, I think most Japanese Halo vehicles are manufactured in Japan, but with the Acura NSX being made in America, this made in Austria, times are changing. Alright, let's see if this case will just fall apart. No, it will not, so that's good. I think I saw this in a different Hobby Japan. There's still three pressure points there that keep the case pretty well tight. Oh, but not super tight. It wasn't difficult to remove that. Okay, let's get that out. Apparently the Supra is back, which is true. My mind always thinks of the, I think it's the 4th generation. Well, I'll show that later on. I have a couple of the castings of that. Alright, let's get this out. Sorry. Compared to these photographs. Let's see here. A couple engine choices. Either 2-liter, I'm assuming an inline 4, or a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine. And both of them I think are turbocharged. The larger one would make a little bit over 380 horsepower, and it's rear-wheel drive. 8-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, and I think it's rolling on 19-inch wheels. So that's what I learned about that, and not much else. It's the 5th generation Supra. The very first Supra, I think, is from 1978. It was based off of a Celica. Actually, the line grew from the Celica lines. Alright, well, let's get a better light angle and take a look at this guy. There are a multitude of Supra models already out there, but I just wanted to get a stock one. Maybe later I'll get some of those Liberty Lock ones by Mini GT, or Ignition makes some, but I want to start with the stock vehicle first. So this is an interesting, very matte finish gray. I guess it would be considered metallic as well. It is just so dull. It's quite interesting. I don't know if I've actually... Well, I guess I do have some other matte finish cars, but this one is definitely unique. I like it. It's very different. Anyways, you can see the paint quality is quite nice. So far I don't see any blemishes. Every time I say that, though, I will find one. Okay, let's start with the side view here. So these wheels are pretty nice. They look like the real photograph. From afar, they just look like silver 5-spokes, but there actually is a second spoke there. It's just painted black. So it's an interesting style choice by Toyota there. I'm wondering, so the spoke is on the right side. What about this side? Yeah, same. So it's the same wheel. I don't know if that's accurate to the real car, but probably is. So this styling, the reason why I also haven't bought this 5th generation Supra is I'm not really sure if I'm sold on the styling of this thing. It's difficult to describe, but I've never seen a car like this. It's clearly not angular, but it's not 100% organic either. It's unique. I'll give Toyota credit there. It's a very uniquely styled vehicle, and I didn't look up who designed it though. Alright, we got some black paint here on the windows here, and Hobby Japan puts in these reflectors, so that's great on the mirrors. This must be the fuel filler, I imagine. So the wheels, again, look nice, and there seems to be a brake system in there that doesn't rotate, so that's good. Red caliper, good contrast, the rotor's silver, so that's a great brake system that you can really see. Alright, let's go around to the front here. You got a little dimple there, probably for those sensors. Parking sensors or whatever they are. We got some clear headlights and a nice foil sticker for the Toyota badge. Looks really good. This little chin lip here slash vertical wing looks pretty neat. It's not super thick. I guess this plastic's probably part of the base. And then we got some black texture in here with some paint. There's a little rib there. Maybe like it's an optional fog light or something for some of them, or future proofing for additional lighting. I'm not sure, I'm just guessing. But you got this little inlet here. I don't know if this is functional in the real car, but it's got some black paint in there to really help the illusion of depth, even though it's not too deep. It is a little bit deep. See the pick? It does vanish a tiny bit. So very nice. Okay. Then it's nice to see a tiny bit of black paint here. I mean, that's a really thin vent. So it must have been really hard for Hobby Japan's manufacturer to put that in there without actually have it overrunning, right? So that's very impressive, actually. Interesting styling lines. Okay. This side, yeah, there's no fuel filler door, but otherwise looks the same as the other side. Okay, I'm just in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, what are all these lines? I mean, this line here, obviously this is the door cut, but why would you style? They're using these lines as interesting styling choices. This is probably a brake for the hood, I imagine. There's a clamshell, but I don't know for sure. Alright. More dimple there for the center. And then no black paint in there, but it does seem like it's recessed a little bit. And then the taillight looks great, especially in this light angle. Look how bright it is there, dark there, you know, so it's translucent, really cool. Nice foil sticker again, and it's pretty well centered. Well, maybe not 100% perfect, but good enough. And then the Supra text seems pretty legible. And it's nice to see it also on the license plate instead of just a blank Stark plate. And that must be a trim level badge, or what's that say? GR. Okay, so it's a GR Supra. Bunch of LEDs, I imagine. Maybe these are like the backup lights. I don't know, or maybe it's a third brake light. Please leave a comment. I don't see it, you know, lit up in that photograph I showed. And then nice exhaust tips, you know, look at that. It's deep in there, it's dark, silver on the outside, so it looks quite realistic. Yeah, so this black plastic is probably part of the belly pan of this model, but it's nice, it's nice. Okay, a little bit of a something. Alright, well, the rear glass looks alright. You know, I kind of like the fact that there's none of those giant defroster lines, right? You really can't see defroster lines on the photos of a car, so it's okay that they're not there on this model. The printing here is good too. You know, it's got the little openings for the sensors there. The molded in wipers are painted black, and then we have a black interior. I'm curious if there's any extra color though. I don't think Hobby Japan puts any extra work into their interiors. Oh, am I wrong? See that computer in the middle? Hold on here. Boy, this is hard. I'm trying to hold this light, the model, and now I gotta take the other hand, focus, zoom in. Let's see. Ah, man. Okay, well, it does look like right there in that computer screen in the middle, I think there's some graph. No, it's just a texture. Where is there? Is there silver paint in there on that little round thing below it? I don't know. Let me shine it from the back window. No, alright, so that is just black plastic. I guess it was just the light angle. So the instrument cluster is totally black as well. So it seems to be a trend with Hobby Japan. They just have black plastic interiors, kind of like a Kyosho blister pack. I mean, it's kind of weak. For the price of a Hobby Japan, they should really have some extra details on the interior. The reason why I say this is because a green light costs like 25%, or it's a lot less than a Hobby Japan model. Yet green lights very often have colorful interiors. That also goes for like Auto World. Hot Wheels even has different colored plastics for their interiors. I'm gonna assume because this interior is actually black on that photograph I pulled up, they chose black for the plastic, but I don't see why they couldn't have had some sort of tampos or decals for the instrument displays and stuff like that, or a little silver on some of those knobs and dials, unless of course they're all black on the real car. Anyways, what I'm getting at is I feel like I want to see a little bit more for my money, but in the grand scheme of it all, the exterior is more important than the interior. So I gotta say, this exterior is quite nice, even though the styling is a little bit questionable for me, in my opinion. The actual execution of this model is, it seems to be flawless. It's alright, so if I was super nitpicky, maybe that could be a casting issue. But, so this is maybe a 99% flawless model. Yeah, I guess that is an issue right there. Anyways, it's quite nice. I can dig it here. It's nice that it's screwed together, although I don't know if there's a tab going on back there, or no, I think it's underneath this exhaust. Yeah, there's a screw under here. They're the tabs to keep the brakes from spinning. And it's kind of weird. It doesn't actually say this is a Supra. It would be nice to know what this car is, for people in the future. And unfortunately, it was screwed down to the base quite a lot, because look at that giant flat spot there. What about the rear? This thing doesn't really want to roll at all. There's a lot of friction going on, probably with the brake system. But that's fine for me, because I hate rolling cars. They fall off displays and bookshelves and stuff. Okay, well, let's take a look at some other castings. My Supra collection is growing slowly. You know what I'm noticing here? Alright, let me stop this. This isn't level. You see that front tire? It's actually not touching the ground. So, that's a first. I don't know. That's not very common in this hobby, to my experience. It's not a major deal, but it is weird. Okay, well, anyways, back to spinning here. There's a photo of a Supra meet or some sort of promotional thing here. So the original Supra was a line or a trim level for the Celica, and then I think it branched off to become its own nameplate. Alright, so what else do we have Supra-wise? I don't have that first one. If anyone knows if someone made this casting, I have a Konami, but it's not a coupe. It's not a liftback. It's more of a sedan, so I don't have that to show. Well, I do have that to show. My bad. So this is a Konami, but this is a straight-up Celica. It's not a Celica Supra. See how the back is not the same as that photograph? Alright, so I guess that doesn't really need to be there. But I do have this Aoshima of a highly modified Liberty Walk kind of thing. It's part of the Aoshima Grachan collections. I don't know which collection though. Okay, and it's kind of lacking in details. It is lacking in details. Who are we kidding? It's got solid wheels, no air passing between anything. Although actually that one, maybe it makes sense. But there's no printing. There's no Toyota badge. There's no graphics. It's just a paint job. So it's kind of weird. But I still like them. It's so funky. Look how slammed to the ground it is. Okay, so then I have this crazy looking Itasha by Aoshima as well. It's a different line from Aoshima, and these have, the Itasha is like a Japanese trend where they put cartoons onto their cars. So this cartoon is, I don't know, some random Japanese manga I know nothing about. So, okay, and it's got a Redox body kit on it. So that's why it looks super wide. In fact, let's do a little top view. Right, you can see the size differences. Let's get this guy out. And then the last one I have is by Tarmac Works Hobby, and it's the Blitz racing car, but I removed the Blitz stickers with some decal softener. and I put on some different wheels. The wheels are by BNDS, but I put on my own brakes as well, because the BNDS ones don't have brakes. Sorry, keeps losing focus as it spins around. Well, at least the other one. Trying to focus on the middle car, obviously, because that's what this video is about. In fact, let us go and let it spin on its own, so it gets its due amount of glory. Well, so my Supra collection is growing. Pretty nice model. Only wish it had a little bit of extra detail on the inside, like an instrument cluster. If this was made by Inno64, it would definitely have an instrument cluster with gauges. It would also probably have a second wheel set, because this doesn't have a race livery on it. So, you know, Inno64's value is much better than Hobby Japan, I think. But outside of that, this is still a great model. I'm happy to have it. In particular, it's this paint job. It's pretty cool. It's a really matte finish. I'm not sure if it's going to show up that way on this YouTube video, but it's very dull, yet metallic. So it's like a contradiction, which I tend to do in my own brain all the time. Alright, well, I guess that's it for the Supras today. Hopefully I'll get some more. See ya.